Hi students, I am Dr. Anurag Agarwal and this is OSN Academy of UPSC English since 1998. Today I am going to again give you some good lessons, some good writing skills to how to get 280 plus marks. And I congratulate two of my students from Delhi University who have qualified the UPSC Mains 2025, and I'm very proud to say that I'm very positive that they will both qualify the IAS interview also, finally becoming IAS officers. But yes, mains plays a very impactful role in qualifying the UPSC optional, that is IAS. And with this trend in the last 27 years, this year also, two of my very good scholars who had faith and who committed, who served their hard work with all religiously, they have qualified. Names and all you will be getting once they qualify IAS finally. So जैसा कि आपको पता है कि पिछले सेशन में, पिछले जो मेरी क्लास थी उसमें आई हैड given you all the discussions, all the guidance, how to write answers, how to have the conceptual knowledge of your entire course as per the syllabus, and then short answers कैसे लिखते हैं, long answers कैसे लिखते हैं. You have not to beat about the bush at all. Believe me, आपका स्पेस कम होता है. आप कभी भी जबरदस्ती कोई भी आंसर्स को घुमा फिरा के मत लिखिए, because examiners are very intellectually sound. They know that what you are writing. In the last session, I had taken a question of AIDS, then LEDA, then September 1, 1939. Today, I am going to take the question of the question was autobiographical muses in the poem Burnt Norton. And before I start this session, my dear students, just to make you sure that this is the 2026 batch, this is the test series and answer writing. 2027 batch is going to start offline, online both. Those who wish to command in the coming 2027, their time has already started, because it is the thumb rule that mains has to be commanded much in advance. And this is all my study material, the latest with question and answers, and this is the test series and answer writing. So let us start with the question number 4, the question which you can see on the screen. 3 questions I have already done in my last session. The question number D, just see. UPSC. Fine. Now, this is question number D. And what is question number D? On the screen, autobiographical muses in the Burnt Norton. Autobiographical muses in Burnt, BURNTNORTON. Burnt Norton. Now, what is this question? इसके लिए आपको Burnt Norton पढ़ा होना चाहिए. You must have read that what is Burnt Norton and what is this question asking. So Burnt Norton is a very famous and a big poem by T.S. Eliot, and this poem, या this work, is an obscure and opaque poem. कैसी poem है ये? Obscure and opaque poem. देखिए, ये आपने पहले बता दिया एग्जामिनर को that this is an obscure and opaque poem. OPAQUE. I am sure that you know the meaning of obscure and opaque both. So Burnt Norton by T.S. Eliot is an obscure, it is an opaque poem with subparts that rests its self-portrayal on the autobiography of T.S. Eliot. And the reference to Rose Garden, ये अब यहां बताना जरूरी है. The reference to Rose Garden is an incident from Eliot's life, wherein he once went out with his lover just days before his wedding and gave her a bucket of roses, या a bouquet of roses. The incongruities in the poem are the picture of his strained relationship with his neurotic wife, who was extremely toxic, and yet Eliot did not leave her. ये आपको बताना है. This is the internal things which you have to write in this autobiographical word, Muses in Burnt Norton. Now, the autobiographical muses refers to the conditions of Eliot's life, जो कि determine करता है, that determines the poem. In writing about time present and time past, अगर हम time present और time past की बात करते हैं, Eliot alludes to his own life, not as a linear journey through time. He shifted cities between America and England, and this fluidity of time is what really helped him write Burnt Norton as well. So you have to tell the examiner that you have the in-depth knowledge of this poem Burnt Norton, taking into consideration the autobiographical section and the part which is going to be explained by you as I am explaining you. And believe me, students, जो भी ये कहता है कि IAS में इंग्लिश में नंबर नहीं मिलता, ये बिल्कुल गलत है. ये वो लोग कहते हैं जो ये चाहते हैं कि आप IAS ना क्वालिफाई कर पाएं. You talk to me, I will give you the numbers, I will give you the names who have qualified with 270, 280, 290 plus. But yes, they have done hard work. They have followed my guidance. They have not wasted their time. They did what I said to them, step by step. Nandal Mandal. Good evening, Nandal Mandal. And you belong to which city, Nandal? Thus, autobiographical muses make the poem really a characterization of Eliot's own personal life fused with his artwork. किससे fused है? With his artwork. Fine. Now, what is the next question? बच्चों को दिखाइए. Question number E. Once again on the screen देखिए. Okay, you are from Jharkhand. Which exam do you wish to qualify, Nandlal? Cynicism in Philip Larkin's poetry. देखिए. Cynicism in Philip Larkin's poetry. Cynicism in Philip Larkin's poetry. Now, do you understand the meaning of cynicism? क्या आप cynicism की meaning समझते हैं? अगर cynicism की meaning समझते हैं और फिलिप लार्किन को आपने ठीक से पढ़ा है, समझा है, then you can write answers very well. Then only you are going to get that marks which will reach to 280, 290 plus. And the level of understanding, the level of writing as I am explaining is actually a blessing for those students who are able to take my classes, my understanding of how sir is speaking, how sir is telling us that this lines, that this explanation should be something like this. Fine. Now, फिलिप लार्किन की सिनिसिज्म की बात की है मैंने या क्वेश्चन में, तो फिलिप लार्किन के बारे में आप कैसे बताएंगे? Philip Larkin has been a crucial part of the movement poetry. कौन सी पोइट्री का crucial part था वो? He has been a crucial part of the movement poetry group. पूरा इसको लिखेंगे group. He has been a very influential movement poetry group का एक part रहा है, and his poetry has deep-seated cynicism towards signifiers of authority and the state. If I talk about in his poem in Mr. Bleeny, I'm sure you must have read the UPSC aspirants, the Mr. Bleeny जो मैंने क्लास में पढ़ाया भी है. In Mr. Bleeny, जो poem का नाम है, he critiques the notion of looking at a man's worth through the number of possessions he had. Mr. Bleeny could only acquire a wired box, and Larkin says, I don't know, which leaves this terrain open-ended. हमें नहीं पता, जो इस terrain को open-ended छोड़ देता है. So there is cynicism, and apart from cynicism, there is one more thing, and that is skepticism. There is cynicism and skepticism towards work culture that pushes the mothers in afternoons. कहाँ पे? जो उसकी पोएम है आफ्टरनून्स, ये वाली, that pushes the mothers in afternoons to the side of their own lives. The motherhood consumes them. Let क्या है उसमें लाइन में, their beauty has thickened. And if I talk about Larkin, in Larkin, his poetry mostly works to engage with England and has deep rootedness. बहुत deep rootedness है. Yet he cynically critiques the drudgery of industrial revolution and the sexual promiscuity of the age in the poem Deceptions. कौन सी poem है? Deceptions, wherein he brings into mainstream poetry क्या कहते हैं उसको, the act of the ghastly act of rape, and shows the suffering of a young girl. And his cynicism is due to his entrenchment in the modern era. He questions fixities and human futility of chasing a sparkling armada of promises. Thus, in the nutshell, in the last line of the answer, you will write, Larkin's poetry has roots of cynicism, which get heightened in the coming postmodern era. Fine. So this completes the all 5 small questions. 3 I did that day, 2 I have done today. Now, the next thing which I am going to teach you today is about waiting for Godot. Now, show the question. कौन सा question आया है? ये एक बार show कर दें. हाँ, वेटिंग फॉर गोडो पे एक क्वेश्चन में आपको दिखाते हैं. क्वेश्चन जो क्वेश्चन उसमें लिखा हुआ है, उसमें जो पीडीएफ में क्वेश्चन आया था. हाँ, just hold on students, I am giving you the question and then we are going to discuss about waiting for Godot. So Nandlal, you are preparing for UGC NET. Fine. So how are your classes going on? Have you completed a lot much course from OSN application? How is waiting for Godot an absurd play? How is waiting for Godot an absurd play? So this is the question. How is waiting for Godot? Now this question is important to be understood by UGC NET scholars, GDC scholars, UPSC scholars, IGNOU scholars, BA students, MA students, everybody. Because waiting for Godot is a common work in almost all universities and courses of literature in India. सो वेटिंग फॉर गोडो जो आप लिखेंगे जिस लेवल पे यूपीएससी में, इट शुड बी नॉट लेस देन लाइक दिस, दैट वेटिंग फॉर गोडो is the most absurd play, literally as well as thematically. मतलब literally भी वो absurd है और thematically भी वो absurd है. Literally it is absurd as it lacks any action. Literally वो absurd इसलिए है क्योंकि उसके अंदर कोई action नहीं होता. There is no movement or no change in any props except for the few leaves that sprout on that tree. शुरुआत में आपको दिखेगा कि इसमें गमले में पत्तियां नहीं हैं, बाद में आपको दिखेगा कुछ पत्तियां आ गई हैं. So that may be supposed to be like a movement that happens, few leaves that sprout on the tree. However, in terms of मार्टिन एस्लिन, अगर हम मार्टिन एस्लिन की डेफिनेशन पे गौर करें ऑफ थिएटर ऑफ एब्सर्ड, द प्ले इज एब्सर्ड as it defies the conventions of theater. There is no chronotope or context of time and place. The avant-gardism is visible, as Didi and Gogo remarks. Didi and Gogo क्या remark करते हैं? Nothing happens, no one comes, no one goes. And the play shows banality of human existence and the mundaneness of habit. Vladimir removes his habit out of purposelessness, and that makes his action actually absurd. The universe they occupy lacks morality and social context. Pozo and Lucky are almost in a master slave relationship, yet Pozo feels Lucky is thankless and does not obey him. The play has minimal action and uses, you can say, एक word मैंने एक बार सिखाया भी था आपको कुछ दिन पहले MCQs में, एक word है स्टिकोमेथिया. So the play has minimal action and uses sticomythia to depict action. Characters lose their memory in the middle of the play, and the on-stage actions lack meaning. The speech of Lucky lacks any meaning except for some, you can say, gibberish on personal God. The play is certainly absurd, and therein lies its meaning. It is not supported to be understood standalone, but by juxtaposing, blending it with the times it was written and the post-war history of neurosis, of confusion, and trench war and humanity. So, Waiting for Godot की जो absurdity है, that shows the main pair waiting for some Godot who never really comes, showing life as an endless wait for redemption by Godot. And Godot is that we don't know who Godot is. Godot is God, Godot is friend, Godot is some companion, Godot is colleague, Godot is girlfriend, Godot is who. So that is all about the absurdity of the play. So I'm very much sure UPSC aspirants would love to be a part of OSN Academy classes who wish to prepare for the 2026 or even for the 2027, the test series, the answer writing, those who wish to be a part to get 280 plus marks, 290 plus marks. It is my responsibility that if you are a hard worker, you can listen to me, you can understand that what is quality, you should take English literature as optional and take all my guidance. Thank you, my dear students.